Greetings, everybody. I don't see anybody there. Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, how's everyone today? Hmm. Is anybody out there? Let's see here. Anyone coming out? I want to see one person. I'm not saying anything, so whoever you are, mystery person, say hello. Let me know what's going down. Okay, here we go. There we go. So, anybody wants to say hello? Ask me some questions. Hmm? Bueller, Bueller, Bueller. Bueller, Bueller, Bueller. Mm-hmm. Well, I got two friends signing on. Well, say something, folks. Oh, don't be shy. Say hello. Okay, so I'm here live now. So, which is it, ladies and gentlemen? Okay. Anyone wants to go to YouTube to see me? I know my modeling days, they did a toll on me. Uh, yes, I'm a smoker. Anyone out there? Anyone at all? Anyone around? Don't be shy. Say hello. Ask me a question or two. Oh, oh. Let's see here. Anyone? Nobody. Eh? Oh, it's like the old adage. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. Yeah. Okay. Who's on? Who is not on? Just one participant. That's me. Yeah, thanks. One engages. Okay. Yeah, okay. Fuck off. All right. All right. All right, folks. How you doing, Miss Kokowski? How are you? or Kozakowski. Did I pronounce that right? Good to see somebody come out to play last minute. Can you hear me okay? Okay, good. Yes. How are you? You're the first person to come out. Yeah, I had some issues with my camera and Facebook. I got a new laptop finally, and I had some issues with Facebook not no, it's an effing fucking nightmare. So anyhow, luckily my streams were good to go on YouTube, so here I am. So you're the first person that showed up. So since you're the only one here, you might as well ask me a question or two. I'm open. On your way into work, yeah, you've been saying that. That's great. Thank you very much. It's appreciated. You know, I'm doing podcasts and videos too. I'm trying to build some revenue. Of course, I'm giving 30% of everything that I earn to the Veterans Association Food Bank, and I have an open dialogue slash link on my new website that'll help them out a big deal. I've already talked to them a few times. I'm volunteering my time with them. So if they need something done in this general area, I'm willing to do it for them, not a problem. So so when I'm asking for money, it's going to a good cause too, not just to help me out here. So just so you know, you heard it from the horse's mouth. Not trying to scam anybody. We got liberals for that shit. So anything else you'd like to know, Ms. Kozakowski? What do you mean? Understand why taking case of or taking care of or taking case of? Because if it's a wonder if taking care of us when we get back, a lot of it's political red tape. And from the research I've done and the people I've talked to, It goes as far back of I think it was Pierre Trudeau that started changing that crap. Um, as far as I know, I could be wrong, but it was always a matter of frickin' red tape and political decisions when it came to the Treasury, because every government has always had to refer to the Treasury Board to allow funds and monies to go anywhere. And it's a matter of the people put in charge of said Treasury every election cycle. Yeah. Um, I wouldn't say the late 60s. I would say probably late 70s or late 80s. Mm. Yeah, I would say probably the late 70s, early 80s, more so after the Cold War. When Rooney shut everything down, when they closed the base in Germany, right, just to save money, even though defense spending in 1993, when the Chrétien government came in, it was getting cut. Um, Helicopters were given away, other articles, and pieces of equipment were given away. Their logic was do more with less. So, and with that logic is, do more with less. Oh, you got hurt in the job. Oh, this happened to you. Okay, well, we'll see if you get this. Yeah. So it ended up becoming a big political divide, if I'm not mistaken. So you talk to any veteran that served in the Balkans in the 90s, they'll tell you some nasty stories when it came to compensation for their injuries, especially PTSD. Um, a few of my instructors, I remember back in basic, had a lot of trouble with things. So, yeah. Well, you could say fresh blood, yeah, sure, or actual men and women that want to be leaders, not dictators, right? Michelle Rempel actually said something today on one of her Facebook feeds that was quite interesting, about how Bill Morneau and some of the other Liberal cabinet members were making fun of Andrew Scheer as his upbringing. He grew up in a very, very humbling household, and he didn't have a lot. So, not that I'm saying I'm backing up Scheer or I'm backing up anybody, but what I remember parliamentary politics being one of, yes, debate back and forth and a bit of slander. Now it's nothing but a fucking nightmare when it comes to political divide, right? And I'd have to say the liberals did more harm than good. And there's nothing liberal about them, from my understanding, being liberal. So, and you're right. Educate. Exactly. You don't need a degree. You just got to read books or research, talk, open dialogue, questions, ask the hard questions, right? So, well, yeah, open perspective, sure. But it comes to a matter of your own personal scruples too. You know, when I look at leadership, I look at what the person can contribute other than just, verbal diarrhea or lip service. If I want lip service, I'll watch freaking lip sync battle, you know. you know. Mm. Oh, I trust me. Yeah, it was actually the candidates running in my area that have actually put some firecrackers in the asses of some key people at Veterans Affairs. So I got my benefits, which was nice. It took me about 2.5 years to get them. But there's also a few people I know back in Ontario who are still waiting for theirs, and they had far worse injuries than I did. Right. One gentleman still has a piece of shrapnel in his back. Another one has bad knees, and they had the audacity to tell him that they were not, a result of his time of service. When this guy would be carrying about 120 pounds in his back at any given time. Yeah, don't try to tell me that shit. So, um, there's a strong conservative following in our area. Always has been. Not so much because of the base being close, but because of the people and basically just common sense. Like I remember 30 years ago, if you're a conservative in Ontario, you were treated like some kind of derelict or dinosaur. But now I look at conservatism as the counterculture, right? It lives up to its name, being conservative, conserving your money, conserving your resources, actually properly saving things for a rainy day, quote unquote. So yes, they do. They do. And that's why I volunteer my time with the Veterans Association in Calgary. I talk with them all the time, email and telephone, let them know what's going on. I'll let them know every weekend when I'm available or not. That was the agreement we had. They don't mind me using their association on my podcast or my links. And I said, yeah, I can volunteer time. Like I say, I'm raising money for them, so it's helping some vets out, which is good. You know, can't cure the world, but I can help a few buddies out when they need it. That's where it counts. Locally. You know, the thing is too, when you get some civilians involved, especially people who have never been with the military, and they give their time, that's always a good thing too. So, Sue, if you're ever in a situation where you're helping a veteran out or you're at a Legion, hey, that goes a long way too. Well, go to your local Legion. They would appreciate that. You know, they would appreciate that immensely. Any local Legion, especially when you just come off the street and you say, "Hey, I'm so and so," and a veteran told me to inquire here about assisting veterans and everything. So, hey, there you go. Well, that's always a good start. Actually, I will give you the link of the Veterans Affairs or the Veterans Association. How far are you from Calgary? Well, you're Windsor, Ontario. Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, um, I don't know what's in Windsor other than Legions, but you can always help out there, especially with the poppy drives and everything. You get a few extra bucks that you can donate. That works too. Um, I think the armories in Windsor too have a lot of links. Well, I don't know when the parade nights are, but I think the Windsor Armories might have something there too. Um, I don't know what kind of associations are in Ontario. I haven't been. Well, I don't live there anymore, so I'm in beautiful Alberta. All those guys, yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah, I've tried to them a couple of times. Yeah, you can talk to them too. Even helping them out helps vets as well too, right? I think they might have a connection with the Veteran Association Food Bank, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, his products are excellent. The morale is pretty cool. Some of the tongue-in-cheek lingo. Yeah, I spent a good few years of my career being a corporal, and I've had comments from some clowns who would say, "Oh yeah, you're a corporal for life," but I left the military as a sergeant, so that'll show you. Well, those few people who like to sit and judge, they're the first ones to cry foul when they need the military to help them out in a time of crisis or a flood or an ice storm. Right? I've had a few debates with people on my page, just saying just stupid shit to me about, oh, well, you're a commie and you're a fascist. And, oh, well, and okay, I'm a commie, and I'm a fascist. Kind of an oxymoron, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I just delete those comments. Next. So, oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a few there. That's why it's good. It's good to have other people weigh in and throw comments to get more dialogue going. The other day I was actually accused of being a white privileged male, whatever that means. Well, I might have had some easy go sometime, but I tell you, I had to fucking work for it. And it wasn't because I was white. It was because I put my head into the game and did my job. So, shit simple. Sure, by all means, by all means. What I would like is a few more people to come onto this live stream here. I know I had some trouble with Facebook there, but you know, I'm not trying to sell any bathwater or anything like that weirdo in England. So that's great. Yes, I can tag your page there too once I'm done the live stream here. So uh, well, that's the thing. I won't throw any babies out in the bathwater. But when you see something like what's her face there, the pixie little cosplayer selling her bathwater at $30 a bottle, yeah. Well, hey, entrepreneurial skills, I'll give it to her, but I just no thanks. Yeah. Oh, we got another person on here. Welcome, friends, by all means. Well, don't be shy. Ask me a question. This is a Q&A, and this is about politics and, of course, fundraising for my. How's it going, T4666? How are you? Can you hear me loud and clear? Okay, what about you, T4666? Yeah, sorry. Okay, good. Right on. Welcome to the live stream. Feel free to ask me any questions. This is a Q&A, Canadian politics, all the social dilemmas, and of course, fundraising for the Veterans Association Food Bank as well. I'll say again, I had some issues with the Facebook feed trying to get my cam working. I have a new laptop here, so I don't know what the problem was. Everything was configured this morning when I double checked. Today, nothing. So I had to go to YouTube live feed, which is good too. I'm not complaining, but I told all my followers that I was going to be on Facebook tonight. Oops. So sorry, folks. Uh, Provincial election or the federal election? Yes, T4. I did a system reboot 3 times. Yes, and I double checked my connections, my antennas, all that stuff. I even sent an email. The federal election will be on the 21st of October. Yes, and I did a reboot there, T4. It was 3 times. So it would come in through, data would go through, all my keys and everything initiated, and still. But hey, YouTube is working. I don't know what the problem was that. Well, lame ass Facebook. I don't know. I've had trouble with them too. I've given them some money for my ads, just to be fair. I've actually had conversation with some of the Facebook people and how to make my ads even better. And they were supposed to call me today, based on an appointment I made a week ago, and they still failed to respond. So whatever. Yes, yes, Sue. 21st of October is the election, right? I'm not going to tell you to vote for. That's not my place. But vote for the better person. Don't believe the dichotomy of gender parity and all this ghost hunting stuff. Believe the better person, right? Well, who's the best man or who's the best woman for the job? I could care less what color they were. I could care less where they're from, as long as they have candor in their hearts, and they want to lead. And I'm talking lead, not just showboat and spend all of our money. Actually give a shit about what they're doing. So shit simple, basically, right? I wasn't raised in a household full of bigots. I was raised in a household full of pride and respect. My parents weren't perfect, but you give me a parent who was, right? That simple. So, oh, it looks like we have another person joining us. Don't be shy. Say hello. Feel free to ask me questions. This is a Q&A, and this is also about Canadian politics and fundraising for Veterans Association Food Bank in Calgary. Yeah, I hear you, T4. There's a few of my friends who've actually quit Facebook and they've gone to different things. They've done the WhatsApp. They're on Tinder. I'm a married man, so I have no use for that. But they're also on the Instagram. Um, there's a new one, Canon Social Network. That's a pretty good. I'm signed up for that one too. How's it going, Rob? Welcome. Oh, true, Sue. Yeah, you want to represent whoever's in your riding. That's the thing, you know. Well, that's good, T4. I think that's where you probably said the most comments to me was on Instagram there, T4. Yeah. Yeah, I put out there just to get the word out, get people into it, get people going and everything. So get the word out that this crusty Canuck is here and he's going to speak his fucking mind. Pardon the swearing, So but you're right, Sue. Yeah, it's good to talk to some veterans when it comes to leadership because yeah, we've had some good leadership. I've had some great leaders in my career. Some of those guys I still talk to today. There's a few of them I would give my shirt off in a second, just the way they treated me, especially when I had my hard times, when I had my hard goes. They were there, being thorough, being logical, and being adults and being fucking leaders. Outstanding. So, Rob, the topic is just a Q&A. What I do, politics and fundraising for Veterans Association Food Bank in Calgary. So, looks like we got a fifth person joining us today. Don't be shy. Say hello. This is a Q&A. Well, you all know me. I'm Crusty Canuck. Right? If any of you guys feel like donating to my cause, feel free. The link is in the Crusty Canuck website, www.crustycanuck.ca. All pertinent donation links are there, right? Brendan Suri, yes, I believe he's in this area. T4. What are you referring to, T4? Guns? Yes, I can kind of agree with that. I'm not really seeing a lot of Sheer coming out defending himself. As much as I hate the mudslinging that's going on in Canadian politics right now, yeah, I'm a gun owner too. So, I like to shoot as well. It was a part of my lifestyle, you know, and I've actually had some headbanging debates with some people over guns. It's quite interesting how people are fearful of the inanimate object, right? Let alone frickin' things that go bang in the night. So, oh, Rob, well, welcome, Rob. I'm sorry, I didn't read that properly. I don't think. Yeah, okay. Well, welcome, Rob. I would assume, Rob, you've had some issues with some liberals and possibly some NDPers in your riding. Oh, well done. Good. Outstanding. Outstanding. Yeah. Can you just remind me again, Rob, what your location is? Brandon Souris. Brandon, Manitoba? Okay, cool. Yeah. I know because when I was working briefly at 2VP there in just outside of Brandon there in Shiloh, CFB Shiloh. Yeah, you'd be hard pressed to find any kind of liberal signage candidates anywhere around. Yeah. But no, I'm really starting to enjoy what Max has to say about a lot of things. I've inquired about the PPC here. A lot of it was just timing. So, but I like Max's platform. I watched him on the Dave Rubin show on Lauren Chen's channel there, the Roaming Millennial. You all familiar with that? Yeah, she's bang on. I like her. I like her style. And even though Max is very French, that's irrelevant. Laurier was French too. Louis Saint Laurent was French. Doesn't fricking matter. He's talking common sense politics, basically, right? So I've been getting it. Oh yeah, yeah. It's just what I see on my feeds, what I put interest in. Yeah, it's that's the thing, because you're looking at Americans that think like us when it comes to straight and narrow, common sense, and they love it. You're not going to find any Trudeau guys on the Dave Rubin show or Lauren Chen hosting Trudeau. The man's an idiot. So, oh, I agree. There is common sense politicians, quite a few, quite a few. It's the way things are turning now. We're not getting enough of that out there. Right on, Rob. Good to see. Good to see. Good to see. I think T4 there on the page will love to give you some questions. Yeah, C71. If I'm not mistaken, that's basically where they're lenient towards violent crime, but non-lenient towards gun owners. If I'm not mistaken. I think C71 is a waste of paper and a waste of time and resources. So is C75, so is C69, C48, C16, M103. Like it sounds like a bunch of list of firearms to begin with. So, oh, exactly. It's just more red tape, more bullshit. Yeah, it does sound like bingo, Sue. It does. B36, I-25. Well, well, I like to see we get rid of that, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a tight election. If I'm not mistaken. Okay, I think the PPC will get ahead quite a bit more than what the media is presenting. Um, if they take the government, well, that'll be a surprise. But I'm pretty sure they'll have a good standing. Um, I want to see somebody just beat the liberals, period, because there's nothing liberal about them. Not a fucking thing. You know, not a bloody thing liberal about them. They don't have a foot to stand on anymore. With Catherine McKenna's issue with her security, her feelings getting hurt, as you've probably seen in my last video, right? See, that's the thing. The conservatives, they have strong policies too. And I have to say, the conservatives did give me a hand, giving me my benefits, especially at a time when I needed them. And they really stepped up for me, and they stepped up for other veterans in this area too. So that showed something. Now, I don't know if it's just lip service or what have you, but they really gave me a hand when it came to getting my shit done. Right. I'll tell you a little story. My so-called, counselor or representative, her and I were at odds one day. She more or less told me, "Oh, yes, you can have this, but you can't have that." Kind of like talking to me like I was a little school kid, and I was livid. So I was not happy, and took a phone call to call Kevin Sorensen in my area, and him and his staff got the ball rolling. And within a week, I got a call from another representative in a different area being very, very apologetic and ever so professional. And I remember telling this guy, I said, "It's not your fault, buds. It's the people you work for." So, you know, no, I agree, Rob. They have. Contrary to the belief about the whole shutting down of the veteran centers and everything, what I basically got from the horse's mouth was those centers that were closed, uh, they'd probably get an average of 2 or 3 visits a week. So they have all this staff waiting to go and yet nothing, right? So I can see that being realistic. But then, JT sitting there bragging, "Oh, we opened them up again." Well, great. You created some part-time jobs, but you also cut benefits. So, and you hired a freaking broadcaster to be Veterans Affairs Minister, Mr. Shameful O'Regan, right? Not to mention Kent Eyre, who was, only appointed the job because the guy is in a wheelchair, not because he's qualified. You know, um, what I'd like to see is whoever gets in actually do the 2% GDP for our NATO standard, right? That's what I'd like to see. Uh, no, I agree, T4. I hope that some parties, other than the Greens, because I don't trust anything Elizabeth May says either, regardless of her love for the environment, you're not going to cure the environment by stopping production of oil or stopping electricity or stopping anything of the sort, right? Because we all know that she turns her lights on too and she drives a car or a truck, so I don't buy that bullshit for 1 second. Oh. I had no idea the one in Windsor was closed, Sue. Yeah. Yeah, gross domestic product. The NATO standard basically says that every member nation of NATO should contribute at least 2% of its gross domestic product to the NATO cause. And we all know why NATO came about. It was after World War II. Yeah. Actually, it wasn't really 2% per se. It was more like maybe 1.7, 1.6. But because of, you know, Trudeau's infinite wisdom, buying the old F-18s for the old F-18s, it basically went down to about 0.8%, right? So, mm. So the thing being with Veterans Affairs is like I like to see qualified people look after it, people that genuinely care about what they're doing, rather than just some sociologist who graduated university and this is their first job. You know what I mean? Dealing with professional people. Like, here's an idea. How about hire more veterans to look after things? There's an idea, right? All this spending and getting us into programs to help us here, help us there, and being told we have to qualify. Well, okay, I try to blow my fucking brains out. Do I qualify? Buddy of mine in Ontario 6 months ago hung himself. Did he qualify? Like, you know, but they wouldn't hear that from me. They wouldn't hear it from else. It's got to be legislated, right? So, see, this is where I become the libertarian. This is where I say, okay, look, let people be what they want to be, right? But I signed a contract, gave 20 years of my life, right? And I wasn't expecting glory, wasn't expecting, romanticism. I wasn't trying to reenact Platoon or Full Metal Jacket or Vimy Ridge. I needed a job and I did it. At the time, I couldn't afford college. There wasn't money for me to go post-secondary. So prior to my career, I did 2 jobs, studied acting and writing. I loved it, right? But there was no work. There was no work in it, right? There was no guarantee. The military gave me a guarantee of employment, which I needed. I needed a kick in the ass, and I got it. But I stuck with it, and I ended up doing 20 years. And I met wonderful people, great people, and I met bad people too. Don't worry, the military has its share of bad bits, but they get sorted out. But with that oath that I gave, I was told that I would be getting treated if this happened, or if that happened, you'd get this, or if this happened, you get that. Everybody was served who, got that lowdown, right? Yes, you're right, T4. Yeah, you're right. That was horrendous. I think that was that was actually just before I left the military when that happened. And that really fucking burned me. The liberals since 1968 have always squandered resources, squandered spending, right? And that statement alone, or you're asking too much we're able to give right now, that really put the cherry on top. That fucking infuriated me, right? Because I know guys just like him, like that vet, that limp around, missing limbs, and they're able, but like that was just a slap in the fucking face, really. More or less a slap in the face. That wasn't anything productive. That wasn't anything political. That was like, oh, I'm sorry, minion. I can't deal with you right now. That was a blatant insult, right? Yeah, 40 weeks exactly. Like that's almost a year. That's pitiful. Because when I was doing mine, they were saying anywhere from 6 to 16 weeks. Now it's doubled, right? So when I hear McKenna and Harjit Sajjan and all these other people weighing in on the economy, yeah, why is it 40 weeks? Exactly, right? Red tape bullshit, right? And considering that the federal liberals have spent close to what, I think another 2 billion on infrastructure projects in other countries. So you can't say that the money's not there the way they're giving it away. Yeah. I don't know, Rob. Yeah, that's not right. That's not right at all. No. Yeah, not right in the slightest. Well, which reminds me too, I should check my vac site again just to make sure that I'm not missing any updates, you know, or missing other paperwork just in case they forgot to tell me like they, usually do. So, uh, oh, I agree, T4 and Sue. I don't know why they gave it to Kadar. I think it was just a political slap in the face. You look at some of the liberal mentality, especially the well-to-do liberals who call, champagne socialists or whatever they come up with, right? They think it's a good thing, you know. I don't have any respect for Omar Kadar. I don't care what he did at 15 years old. He committed a crime. He was a Canadian citizen. He was in a foreign country, regardless if he was under the influence of his father or not. He took part in a war. He got caught. What do you expect? And now because oh well, he was a prisoner in Gitmo, and Canada has to do this and Canada do that. If Canada had any balls at the time, they would have said, "Fuck you." Period. Let him rot. You know. When a 15-year-old boy commits a crime in this country, right? Don't give me that sense of what's wrong or what's right, unless he grew up by himself miraculously. You know, no morals, no scruples, and maybe okay, he might be a ward of the state, but he was treated like he was some kind of martyr for something. So yeah, I agree. T4, that was a shady deal. And regardless of what Sockboy said about what Harper agreed to, or what Chrétien agreed to, or what Paul Martin agreed to, there was something going on there. I would say it was more or less to win a Muslim vote to show tolerance. But is it showing tolerance or is it compliance? It's a big difference, right? Big difference from that. So yeah, dirty fucking pool, dirty politics, you name it. It's a fucking shit show. So I agree, Rob. Sajan must go. I actually talked to officers that served with him. You know, apparently, yeah, he might have made some decent decisions as a reserved armored, a major and captain. But when he became a lieutenant colonel, a lot of people were not impressed with him. So, uh, and I've had the honor of working under many good lieutenant colonels that actually show dedication and respect to the troops and the regiments accordingly. But they also carried themselves as professional men and good fathers and good figures to look up to. But I heard nothing but bad things about him. It's got nothing to do with his ethnicity. It's just his actions, right? So even when the man talks, I phase him out because he just instead of weighing in on actual military affairs, he's worried about the whole race baiting issue. And I make a point of that in one of my videos about the young student in Manitoba who put up the "It's okay to be white" signs. Yeah, so I just reference my videos if you want to check that out. Um, Yeah, I don't find, that statement saying, how Justin would say, "Oh, okay, yeah, beautiful voice for Canada," when we know he doesn't give two shits about Canada, right? Justin Trudeau cares nothing but about Quebec, his trust fund, and his buddies. It's obvious. Just like his old man, his old man did the same thing. My mother was a staunch Trudeau maniac when he first come onto the scene in the '60s. She loved him. It was like the second coming of the Beatles to her. And her and I used to debate all the time about liberal policies and conservative policies and military policies, what have you. And we saw eye to eye on things. But when she started talking about Pierre, I'd lose it. So, well, the military does promote you to the level of your incompetence. Oh, well, true. Yeah, yeah. I've dealt with warrant officers that did some real stupid things, and voila, all of a sudden they're out of the platoon, and now they're sergeant majors for some other company. So yeah, I agree with you, Rob. Yeah, I had to read that again for a second. I was like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, yeah, yeah, Maggie Trudeau. I've actually had the honor of seeing her spread in Hustler, and tell you, I was not impressed. I was not impressed at all. No, 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 no. And especially when she was doing her one woman show in Chicago, like trying to do her little take on Second City, or her version of Second City, and I was just no. I'm a fan of Second City, so as far as I'm concerned, she insults Canada and she insults the memory of John Candy. So there, you know. Yeah, sure thing, Rob. Anytime. So please consider, donating to the Veterans Association Food Bank. I have the link at the end of my page there, or you can go right to my website, www.crustycanuck.ca. Find all the information there. Thanks for coming out, Rob. Appreciate the comments. You're welcome anytime. Yeah, you're right, Sue. Second City, yeah. Bobby Bittman, of course, Ed Grimley, you know, Edith Prickley, Andrea Martin. It's priceless, priceless. Classic Canadian comedy, you know. Uh, I don't mind 22 minutes. I don't mind them. If I'm watching comedy on a regular basis now, I'd have to say, well, the last comedy show that I really laughed at was The Ranch on Netflix. I really enjoyed that. Sam Elliott, big Sam Elliott, big mustache. Yeah, you know. But if I'm going to refer to classic Canadian comedy, Second City's up there. Kids in the Hall, for sure. Yeah, even Codco. Do you remember Codco? Does anybody here remember Codco? That was a good show. Right? Uh, Yeah, it was. They're all newfies, but they all had a variety show. They did a lot of stage work in Toronto in the '70s, roughly the same time when Second City came out. But when Second City took off, they were still doing a lot of stage work. So yeah, they weren't really that productive until CBC picked them up in the late '80s. They're on the same time as Kids in the Hall. Yeah, they had their comedy. They're quite funny. Yeah. 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 Codco, yeah, I guess you can say they were. Yeah, they were more stage than anything, but they had a notable skit where they talked about having a Last Supper with Jesus, and they used to call him Miracle Man because he used to whip up miracles like Miracle Whip, so they call him Miracle Whip. Yeah, that was funny. You know, as for Second City, yeah, that's a staple. When I look at improv comedy, I always refer to Second City because they're the same people that brought us Saturday Night Live as well. So when Saturday Night Live was funny. So yeah, Bob and Doug McKenzie. And the story about that, it was a joke, right? Because at that time, ConCan, Canadian content was, or yeah, CanCon, Canadian content was getting in its heyday. So they had to make something Canadian. So, Rick Moranis and, God, what the hell is his name? Fuck, I'm getting senile here. Dave Thomas, that's right. Just off the top of their heads, improv it, and it sold, and it's fantastic. And I actually remember the last time when I was in the States, I was actually asked questions about Bob and Doug McKenzie. Or were they real? Were they real people? Well, it's real actors, yeah, real performers, but you'd be hard pressed to find Canadians talking like that all the time. Right. So, well, yeah, with Geddy Lee, exactly, on the Christmas album. Yep. Yep. Take off the Great White North. Yeah, $10 is $10, eh? Exactly. So I even had their DVD around someplace. Their 2-4 special, 24 years after the inception of Bob and Doug, and Geddy Lee shows up with a big cake made of donuts. Fuck, it was hilarious. So yeah, I'm sure you can find that DVD on Amazon. So yeah, the album, perfect, right on. On the first day of Christmas, what your love gave to me, a beer. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, yeah, take off. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Yeah. 5 golden toques, 4-pack smokes, 3 French toast. Yeah. It's funny. You can just sit there seeing they're having a smoke and drinking a beer. Oh, yeah. Classic album. Well, that's because Trudy doesn't know what identity is. He's been spoon fed silver dollars and Canadian currency all his life. And what gets me is that he's so anti oil and gas, and yet it was his grandfather that made said fortune off of oil and gas because his family used to own gas stations. Right? Can you say biting the hand that feeds you? Hmm. So self evident, self explanatory. Right. And that's the thing too. He also appointed cabinet members based on the whole gender parity and based on the whole identity rather than actual qualifications. You know, exactly, T4. Yeah, typical dictatorial crap because he does admire China's based dictatorship, right? Yeah, Petro-Canada was a result of the whole National Energy Board thing that came in the early 80s, where, the government had to galvanize and capitalize on all these different gas stations, right? Which end up putting a lot of people out to work. So, um, his whole cabinet is just full of poison. Krista Freeland could negotiate herself a wet paper bag. Catherine McKenna sitting there worrying about her feelings getting hurt. Harjit Sajjan jumping on the racist bandwagon every time someone disagrees with him. Amarjeet Sohi, complaining about a train in Edmonton, and yet it's his office that wants everything moved by rail, not by pipeline, right? Our foreign affairs minister, Ms. Freeland, has a background in business journalism. What the hell is she doing being a foreign affairs minister, right? That'd be like appointing me the minister of space. I don't fucking know anything about space. I know it's cold. There's no atmosphere. I'm a Star Trek fan. That's about it. So I know we need the moon to keep the tides in check. We need the sun. So, but it's just a matter of fucking priority, I guess. Like you said, he wanted to make everything 50-50. It was 2015, quote unquote. And what did it prove? What did it prove? Nothing. You've got these newbies, and then you've got the career politicians like Mr. Goodale and Mr. Blair, right? Everybody else that sat around during the Paul Martin years, they were all part of the sponsorship scandal, the whole thing. So a shit show, right? I agree, T4. Yeah, the cabinet is a joke. I just shake my head. SMH, shake my fucking head. Yeah. Well, he was running as a liberal candidate against Andrew Scheer, Maxime Bernier, and a couple other individuals, but he stepped down. Right. Right. I remember the theory that he would have been Canada's version of Donald Trump because he's, a billionaire. He's loaded. Right. But I think he realized that he'd be better off sticking with business rather than politics. Well, see, that's the thing. The media won't follow to that because even today, right, based on the Toronto Star's story, I can't post it to you right now, but Toronto Star is getting roughly 115,000 plus a week, $115,000 plus a week because of Justin's little media bailout, right? Basically buying votes, winning favor, right? Yes, Sue. Kevin O'Leary was PC, but he stepped out of the race. Yeah. This was just before Scheer got voted in, right? So, well, yeah, Gerald Butts, he's as informative as a fart, right? He's another clown too, calling everyone racist or Nazi if they disagree with any kind of liberal policy. So it's obvious the man can't debate. He has a university education, I think, in communications, and he can't communicate. So what's that tell you? Well, anyhow, folks, I got a few more minutes here before I shut her down. So, oh, of course he did. Of course he did. He was the operating officer of the World Wildlife Fund of Canada, right? So, as much as I love animals and conserving things, he never conserved a dime. Spend, 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 influence. No better than the back scratchers of the mid 1980s, right? So it's a contradiction. They're hypocrites, the whole lot of them. So, well, well, thank you, Sue. Yes, I do try. I do try. But thank you very much for tuning in. It's appreciated. And if you can, please share, comment, like all that other good stuff, like I say in my videos and my podcast. spread the word, all that good stuff. Remember, I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this for the Veterans Association Food Bank out of Calgary, right? Well, enjoy your day. So thanks for coming out. It's appreciated. Yes, I will, T4. I'll get that sorted out right away. That's if those Facebook execs wants to, actually give me a call like they said they were going to. But yeah, I'll get that sorted out. And well, I'll get right on that for sure. Exactly. O Canada, our home and native land, and all thy sons command, right? So whoever told you that the anthem's not inclusive, how about the last line? We stand on guard for thee. We, as in all of us in this country. Doesn't matter how high or how big you are, or how your income is, or what you identify as. We stand on guard for thee. Exactement. C'est 1000%. Well, the thing is, it's not a matter of them worrying about changing it back. Stick with what we know. When I stand for the anthem, I say, and all thy sons command. I don't care who looks at me or whatever. I'll say, and all thy sons command. And I encourage all you guys to do the same thing too. Exactement. 100%. Yep. Anyway, take care. Good night, Sue. All the best. Thanks for coming out. Oh, I see you got a few more people coming on the scene here. Well, I'll give a few more minutes here, answer more questions if you care to ask. Oh, I guess not. So I guess they realized my modeling days were over. Yeah, true enough. True enough. Wait until the end, right? Exactly. So, yes. Well, when I started my career, military or modeling? What do I do? Yeah, military. Well, if no one's going to ask more questions, then it's been a slice. Thanks for everybody for coming out. I appreciate your concern and the questions. It was great. Next time I'll organize a better live feed. I'll probably use this one. It'd be probably a lot more easier than the Facebook crap. But to all who have come out, T4, Sue, Rob, and the mystery guests I've had, thank you very much. And I will try to get a new podcast up sometime this week. And then I'm working on more videos. But please commenting, liking, subscribing, and really consider please donating to the Veterans Association Food Bank. All pertinent information is on www.crustycanuck.ca. I'll leave it up here in the message board just to be sure. You can donate and everything there. All the links, pertinent links to my merchandise and to the Veterans Association Food Bank and to my personal donation pages. Feel free. Thank you thank you very much again. I've been Crusty Canuck, and take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now, folks. Thanks for coming out. Oh, thank you, T4. Will do. Just keep subscribing and liking and commenting there, T4. Spread the word. Cheers, buds. And cheers, everyone else. Have a good night, everyone. Take care.